Hey there, and welcome back to Dean of Machines, where we battle airplanes and lawn care enthusiasts for fun. Behind me is our 2012 TDI Jetta, which is currently dead, and it's been 3 weeks, and I'm still waiting on parts. So I did the next best thing, and instead of waiting for parts, I bought another daily driver. This car is a 160-something thousand mile car that came to me through a coworker who had previously bought it off of the owner of the company I work at. So the same guy that owns the Volkswagen, the Type 2 single cab, the same guy that owns the Rivian that we did the review on. Now, if you don't know what it is, that is a Lexus LS400, and it cost me all of that. $400. Doll hairs, huh? I'm not. It's a Toyota. You know, that's what you do when your Volkswagen dies. You got to pay it off. You buy yourself a $400 Toyota. Obviously, it's quite dirty, and we need to do a quick spritz off of it. So let's set up a time lapse, and we'll hit it with the pressure washer. What do you think? Under the hood, you can see it's not great. Quite dirty. And if you look down in there, oh yeah, that's nice. Looks like that radiator's getting a little green in the gills, if you will. I will say I've already been in this car working on it. I replaced the alternator. Guess what? Can't see it. It's down there. That was fun. I'm not going to take you along that journey because it was wasn't great. I will say, in this being a 98 LS400, if you do the LS430 alternator upgrade, you do need a nut and a stud. I'll put those part numbers in the description so that you know what they are. And also, when you do this, oh yeah, power steering pump pulley has to come off so you can take the alternator off the stud. Anyway, let's do some more. Pretty slow. I'm pretty sure it still needs some maintenance items. You know, we can check the filter, maybe throw some plugs at it, clean the MAF. Those are all things that you need to look at when you pick up an LS400. This thing's kind of a gutless pig. There's no... Yeah, it's just, you push the pedal down, it's like... So we'll go through it, we'll see what we can do, and then we'll see what the results are. Okay, we're back in the car. Changed out the air filter. The air filter was terrible. Yeah, this is a 0 to 60. I don't know. Let's do it. Oh, it's going. Oh yeah. But it's got some cheech to her, huh? Yeah. Get some. Get some. All right, let's slow her down. Nice. Oh yeah, it's raining today. Go figure. Almost as bad as a lawn care enthusiast. It does have the dual glove box option, which is pretty sweet. And it did stink pretty well. It does have cup holders, which that's one plus over a 240. I think this might be my new daily driver. It is pretty comfortable too. Now I picked this thing up for a whopping $400. If you can believe it, I can't believe it. It's one of those things where somebody came and found me and said, hey, do you want to buy this thing? And I said, no, I can't do any more projects. I don't need any more projects. I don't need another car. But what I do need is money. And I think this $400 car, which I'm now $600 into, after an alternator was $200, and then I did some maintenance items, so maybe $650. We'll see if we can't make some money with this car after driving it for a couple months, depending on how long it takes to get the gaskets I need for the TDI. The TDI is still broken, still in the garage, and I was looking at it the other day, and I have to tear apart I have to drain all the coolant out of it. I have to pull the oil cooler off of the front side of the block so I can get to the gasket. And to get in there, you have to take a whole lot apart. It's not just as easy as just pops right out, you know? Who would want it that easy? I would want that easy. But it turns out when that gasket fails, it bypasses oil back into the block and you have no oil pressure to the top end of the motor or the turbo. So hopefully those aren't dead. Oh yeah, Volkswagen, check this out. This is a 98. This works great. You know what else works great? Not a damn squeak. Yep. Take notes, Volkswagen. Take notes. Now we have a 30-pound bag of dog food for scale. You could get 4 or 5 bodies in this trunk. Not that I needed a trunk for bodies or anything, but just in case, you know, the situation arises, we're good to go. Oh, that's one more thing I gotta fix. Over here is broken, but that I need a bulb. I think all the lights work. Speaking of fixes, the door seal missing a chunk out of it, and you can hear that when you're going down the road, which sucks because the car's super quiet otherwise when it's warm in there. God, that feels nice. We'll just chalk it up to another thing we gotta fix. Oh, except probably the most important thing. Yeah, that VSC, that's your traction control. That means we can't do burnouts yet, which is just that's not gonna fly, man. We gotta be able to do burnouts. I looked for the fuses, I can't find it, I don't know. Yeah. Any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Makes you wonder if that's accurate. Little backstory on this car. The owner of the company that I work at, the gentleman who owns the Rivian that I did the review on, he wanted an LS400, so he went out and found the cleanest, nicest one he could find. That was this car. When he picked up the car, it was a one-owner car with 80,000 miles on it. And then he put about 100,000 miles on the thing. So now we have it. It's about 167,000, 170,000 miles, something like that. And it's ours. He was driving it. I think he let a family member borrow it. I don't remember which family member. We'll just assume it was Helen Keller or Stevie Wonder. Either way, they hit a lot of stuff with the car, sadly. And unfortunately, the car came back a little fucked up. Which is sad because I remember seeing this car around the shop. It was beautiful, you know, it was super clean. And I remember moving it in like my first year at the company, and I was scared to move it because it's the boss man's car, you know what I mean? I don't want to fuck his car up. Unfortunately, the car came back really messed up, and I honestly think it broke his heart, which kind of sucks because, you know, when you care about a ride, you care about a ride. But yeah, she wrecked it a couple times into things, just like parking lot, bumper to bumper, you know, commuting around Atlanta kind of stuff. And I think it honestly broke his heart because he sold it shortly after to another coworker. I had the chance to buy the car then, and I just, you know, I didn't want to buy it because it was messed up. You know, I wanted to buy it when it was nice and clean, but, you know, what are you going to do, right? You can't, you know. Oh, and remember, kids, rain X your windows. Anyway, that coworker lives about 10 minutes from our shop, which is, in traffic is about 2 miles. In the 2 years that he had this car, he believes that he only put about 300 miles on the car. He stopped driving it because it was giving him all sorts of electrical issues, a bunch of warnings for the auto leveling headlights, for the VSC, which is the traction control, and he also had a battery light on. And the battery light, that was the most important one to pay attention to. It was charging, like you could hold the car at 3,000 RPM and it would give you like 12.5 volts. But you let it idle and it would drop down to 11.5. So obviously the car needed an alternator. A local shop charged him $300 for an oil change and a diagnostic test. I don't know what they did for $300. But with my $50 Klein Tool multimeter, I was able to deduce that it needed an alternator. We put the LS400 alternator in it, which is a 130 amp alternator instead of the 30 amp alternator. And now we have a running, driving car. I want to thank you for stopping by, checking out Deed for Machines. Remember, we have a Patreon if you want to support our mishaps, because I am trying to pay off that TDI that's currently dead in the garage. It's the only car we owe money on, if you can believe that. And believe it or not, it is to date our most expensive car that we have ever owned. Was that TDI. Why do people buy new cars? They're just gonna break. Drive old shit boxes. Anyway, how much you get in your garage? You fix something, huh? Have a good night.